your credit card strategy should not stay the same forever. It should evolve with your lifestyle, which is why it's worth reassessing every year to see if your cards still align with your actual spend and travel. And that's exactly what I'm doing in 2025. With 2 big group trips and high spend coming up, I'll walk through exactly how I analyze my habits to adjust my strategy, which cards I'm using now, which cards I'm considering next, and which card I'll be applying for here in this video. But the first piece in any good credit card strategy is to figure out what actually makes sense for you, which can be broken up into 3 steps that, when followed, will keep you from blindly chasing bonuses or recommendations, and will instead help you build a setup for the long term. Step 1, look at real patterns, not guesswork. One of the biggest mistakes when it comes to credit card strategy is people assuming how they spend. That means actually looking through the past couple years of your credit cards and travel and asking yourself these questions. How do I actually travel? Do I take many weekend trips? Or fewer but longer trips? Do I actually care about business class, or is economy just fine? Do I travel mostly alone, with a partner, or in a bigger group? Or maybe I don't like travel at all, that's okay too. Where do I actually spend? What categories do I spend in? If it's food, am I spending in restaurants or groceries? For travel, am I paying cash for flights, or am I using points to book instead? Which perks do I actually use? Do I actually use the lounge access, hotel benefits, or priority boarding and free checked bags? For example, if you have the $695 Amex Platinum card but use none of the benefits, it's probably worth considering a change. And when I really sat down and asked myself these questions, I had a few realizations. I realized that I never travel internationally alone. It's always at least with one other person or in groups of 4 or 6. Because of that, I tend to take fewer but longer international trips, which means more so maximizing my points for higher value redemptions like in business class overseas, rather than paying with cash or using travel credits towards many domestic flights. That means that there can be some all-time high offers from airline-specific cards, but still not make sense for me. I don't fly domestically enough to take advantage of those free checked bags or priority boarding. Instead, I focus on flexible points that I would then redeem for premium long-haul flights that would naturally include those perks anyways. The same goes for chasing hotel cards, where those free night award certificates are kind of hard to use when you're traveling and booking for multiple rooms at a time. I don't need to stay at high-end hotels. Usually a clean, comfortable, and modern hotel does the job, especially when I'm in cities that have plenty to do outside. Realizing that spending-wise, my top categories have always been restaurants and travel. So my cards should be focused on earning at least 2 to 3 times, if not more, in those categories. And since I frequently travel to Canada, no foreign transaction fees is also important. Then realizing that although I love all things travel, I'm not a full-time creator or a traveler. No matter how much I want to maximize value and perks, there's a limit to how much I can actually travel every single year. And that it's okay if I'm not chasing a new card every couple months and only going for cards that actually make full sense to me. Heck, out of my 19 cards, I've only ever gotten rid of 2 of them. The rest I've either kept or downgraded. And when it comes to chasing elite status, I'm fortunate enough that my employer has partnerships with some fast-track programs, like with Hyatt and staying 10 nights or 20 nights within 90 days to earn Explorist or Globalist status, or with Alaska flying 2, 4, or 8 round-trip flights to earn MVP, MVP Gold, or even MVP Gold 75K status. Now, once you've reviewed what your specific habits are like, move on to step 2, which is identifying what you actually need. For me, that means flexible points over airline or hotel cards wherever possible, prioritizing high welcome bonuses given I have the spend to hit the minimums, strong multipliers across travel and dining, whereas other categories like groceries or drugstores don't matter as much, and no immediate need for chasing hotel or airline statuses, only doing so when I have plans to use those credits and benefits that are locked in. For example, only going for the Hilton Aspire card with with this diamond status when I know I'll be staying at a lot of Hilton properties and booking just one room. And this is the exact process everyone should go through to figure out what you actually need, not what you assume you need. And because what works for me may not and likely won't work for you. Maybe you fly domestically all the time, then those free checked bags can really add up to hundreds of dollars every year. Maybe you stay at the same hotel chain every time you travel for work. Well, then those co-branded cards with the elite status and earning nights could really benefit you. But then there's also step 3, which is not just to analyze your past, but look forward at what might change in the next year. For me, it looks like 2025 will continue to have some big group travels, where it's typically me booking and paying for a lot of the things first, and then having my friends transfer me back. That means having a lot of spend, which is perfect for hitting those welcome bonuses instead of letting that spend go to waste, while earning a ton of flexible points and positioning myself for more redemptions down the line. Now that I've narrowed down my travel and spending habits, the next piece is to assess my current setup. First, I've got my Chase Sapphire Preferred card, which has been with me for over 7 years now and is key because it's what unlocks Chase points transfers to their travel partners, which is where I get that maximum value for all of my Chase points. And then I've never actually used that 25% boost when redeeming through the Chase portal because, again, although that might work and be valuable for most people, it's not what fits my specific habits. Not only that, it's also my go-to dining card, earning me 3 times points in that category, along with having no foreign transaction fees, which is important as I travel to Canada and use it abroad a lot. It also earns 2 times when spending in general travel, which is okay, but it's an area I can continue to optimize. Second, I'll pair that with my Chase Freedom Flex card, a 4-year-old card that I rotate in when the 5 times quarterly categories make sense. Like in Q4 last year when it was in PayPal, I surely took advantage of that. These points then get pooled into my Sapphire Preferred and get used in those same higher value ways. Third, my Capital One Venture X, my go-to catch-all card that's been with me for over 3.5 years now, earning 2 times miles on all spend that doesn't fit into the other categories. In my opinion, it still beats most of those 2% cashback cards out there, given I still pin Capital One Venture miles at 2 cents per mile, which is more like 4% back in value. That and the yearly credits more than offset that $3.95 in annual fees, while also providing me Priority Pass and Capital One lounge access. And then fourth, my main card when traveling, and that's the American Express Platinum card. Yes, it has a steep $695 in annual fees, but the credits I use, like the $200 airline fee credit, hotel credit, Uber Cash, and a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, more than help offset that cost. Apart from that, it also allows me to diversify into another powerful points ecosystem, while earning me 5 times points when booking direct with airlines. It also gives me lounge access to a bunch of programs like its own Centurion Lounge, Priority Pass, and many more. And here's a pro tip. I've been able to combine the access with my Venture X card to bring bigger groups of 4 to 5 people into some of these lounges before, which perfectly fits my group travel lifestyle. Now, while my current setup covers a lot of ground, the next piece is to figure out what I'm missing and which card I'll be applying for in this video. With 2 major group trips this year and high spend coming from booking those short flights, hotels, activities, or even day-to-day spend during the trip, the biggest thing I want to maximize is welcome bonuses, since it's one of the easiest ways to rack up a ton of valuable points fast. I also know that I want a card that will also earn me more flexible points if possible, have points that still have high value redemption options, and ideally still have strong multipliers for regular spend. And there's 3 cards that come to mind. First, the Bilt MasterCard. Yes, it doesn't have a high welcome bonus or any welcome bonus at all, but with my recent increased rent having just moved, it's kind of like a mini welcome bonus every year, as long as things don't change. And those Bilt points are just as valuable as well, with some amazing travel partners like World of Hyatt, Aeroplan, Virgin, and Alaska. The hesitation though is potential changes, which we know that Bilt has already sent out surveys asking for people's opinions on 3 different pricing tiers of cards. Then there's the Chase card, Because I'm currently Chase 324, I can still qualify for more Chase cards before hitting 524, meaning 5 new cards in the last 24 months. I already have the Freedom Flex and Sapphire Preferred, which means I don't qualify for the Sapphire Reserve, and the Freedom Unlimited card has a pretty low bonus. They do have other cards, but I pretty much never need to fly Southwest. United points aren't that great, and I'm in a hub where it's mainly Alaska and maybe Delta. And then hotel cards, but with group travel this year, it's going to be pretty hard to use a lot of those credits and perks, which really leaves the Chase Aeroplan card, which is not bad, with 60 to 70,000 points as a welcome bonus, which in my opinion is still really flexible given most of my redemptions have been transferring through Aeroplan. It will also come with Aeroplan 25k status, which is kind of bare bones in the perks it actually gives, but the bonus points when transferring a bigger chunk of points to Aeroplan can come in pretty handy. And then there's a whole new ecosystem, like with Citi and the Citi Strata Premier card, which does check a few boxes. A really high welcome bonus of 75,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. Solid multipliers across air travel, hotel, restaurants, groceries, gas stations, and EV charging, with the standout ones here being 3 times in air travel and hotels, which is better than my Sapphire Preferred, and EV charging, which is a nice touch that I'll definitely use. Solid travel partners, although they don't have Aeroplan, they do have unique ones like one-to-one transfer to EVA, which does unlock a lot of availability traveling to Taipei in Asia for just 75,000 points flying business class. Then Flying Blue, KrisFlyer, and Virgin are also great as well. Not to mention a new ecosystem where I could take advantage of any transfer bonuses that may happen. And then $100 off a hotel stay of $500 or more when booked through the portal. I personally never used the Citi portal before, which is another small reason for this card to experience and share my experience with you. But given I still have to book a few hotels for trips later this year, hopefully it works out and I can actually use this credit in an efficient way. Tack on no foreign transaction fees, and it's pretty clear by now that the winner is the Citi Strata Premier card. It's got a great welcome bonus, expands and diversifies my flexible points portfolio, complements my current setup, and starts the clock on that 48-month window for future welcome bonuses, especially if they come out with another Strata card like the Strata Elite maybe in the future. Perfect first card for 2025 that I would put to immediate use, booking some travel and actually using it on my upcoming trip. But first, let's actually go through the application to see how it goes because, well, you never know. Alright, so landing on this product page, you can see all the details for everything we've gone over, from the welcome bonus to the multipliers, the annual hotel benefit, and more. So we can just click on through to apply now to actually land on the application page. Now, with any application, you want to double check the terms and the bonuses you're actually getting on the card. So on the sidebar here, we can verify that it's indeed the same welcome bonus we're expecting, along with the other card details. Going through the form is pretty straightforward, and I'll fill it out after scanning through with you here, but it's your personal info with SSN, birthday, along with address and other contact information, especially if you've never had a Citi account before. Then it gets to your financial information. Here, remember that it's your gross income and kind of an estimate on what you'd be making throughout this year. For example, if you work in tech and you know that you'll be granted more RSUs or stocks, increasing your total compensation, you could possibly include that in your estimate as well. Next, and I haven't really seen this before, but it's more like a security word for online services, which I think is pretty neat. And then of course your typical terms and APR, which you shouldn't really care about because I know you'll be paying off your bill in full and on time every single time. And now to go through everything and come back when I'm done to check these boxes, and the moment of truth, clicking the button, and congratulations Kevin, you've been approved with a credit limit of $10,000, which is not too bad. And when scrolling down, you can see that it quoted my credit score at 792 for TransUnion, although it's probably lower now after that pull. So with that, my 20th ever credit card, the Citi Strata Premier, is officially locked in. But of course, these strategies are not a one-way door. What's great about any setup is you can make mistakes and adjust your strategy as you go. If you think you should have got another card, well, a few months later, you can consider applying for a new card. For me, that means keeping an eye out for changes to the built card or any new card that comes on the market, like maybe a new Citi card or the new Alaska card. Essentially, any card that would provide me really valuable and ideally flexible points would always be near the top, as I think it unlocks a world of experiences that most people would not want to pay out of pocket for. So to learn step by step on how to make those high value redemptions, check out this video over here. Let us know in the comments what's on your 2025 roadmap, and I'll see you over there.